Okay, so let's learn how to do a cutout. Not just a border, but we're going to give it this kind of different look as if we actually used scissors, which sort of, takes us back to when we were kids and we're making collages using scissors and paper and construction paper and tape and glue and all this kind of stuff. And even though this actually is 100% digital, it feels, at least subconsciously, it sort of takes us back to that time when things were a little bit more tactile. And it just depends on the audience, of course, that you're dealing with. Depends on your project. But for example, in the movie Up, which came out a long time ago, it's 2007 or something like that. But I've seen this movie a million times. But my favorite part is the ending. I love the credits here where they use kind of typewriter over tape, construction paper, and then tape on that, and taping the photographs in. And you don't see the cutout kind of with the scissors thing, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Actually, you see it in something like this DVD case by Napoleon Dynamite one. So that you can see where Napoleon Dynamite is cut out from a magazine or a photograph. So you could do that as well. I mean, you could have a photograph and then simulate a cutout, which I'm going to show you how to do that. So we know already that we can have a background image or a video, and we can put a photo on top of that, and then we can remove the background. And it works for video or it works in a photo. And if we want to kind of highlight or separate a little bit to make it feel kind of like it was, done out with construction paper or something like that, we could put this kind of border around it. And that's fine. That's cool. But I have another way to do it, which makes it seem more like we used scissors or an X-Acto knife to cut around the object. And you can just put it in many different contexts. So it's kind of cool. So let's say we're going to use these 3 images here, but they have a white background with them. So of course we could remove the background, but I want to show you how I did it. And then if you notice around the plane, it sort of looks like it was just cut out from a magazine or from some construction paper or something like that. So here it's just string and tape, and then there's our image, but we cut around it because it had a white background, remember? So we cut around it to make it look like we cut it out of paper. It's just another one, different image, same idea. So really looks like we used scissors, but we didn't, and I'll show you how we did that. But as far as the viewer knows, wow, this feels very much like it was all done in the analog space. Okay, so here's our image. We have a background here, but we just this is our image on top, and it's got a white background. And of course, we could remove the background and then put a border on it, but we don't want to do that, so we're not going to do that. Instead, what do we do if we want to just kind of cut around it and keep some of that white with it? So we go up here to Shape and the Pen tool, and there'll be a line between the 2 points that will be white. So usually we don't have a white background, so that's okay, but the color doesn't really matter, but we need to see it. So you can just change it to a different color. And then imagine you're using scissors. So you're just clicking point to point, but imagine it's scissors. So it's going to be more of a, kind of crude a little bit. Let me just speed this up. Okay, and then as you come to the end, just a final click to join them up. And then there you can see we have our outline. You can see the shape there. So the shape there is with the object list. So we have the original jet and the shape. We don't want it to have an orange background, so we're just going to remove that. And we can see this is already selected. So you could hold Shift down and click on the image that way. So we need both of them selected. Or just go right to Object List and click on the shape, and then click on the image. Then go up to Format and Image and Mask with Selection. And then you'll see that we have our mask. And it's sort of, again, I did this really quickly, and it's kind of crude. Well, that's how you might do it if you're using scissors, right? So there it is right there. So that's one way. And now another way, in this case, let's say that we have an image already and it doesn't have a background. So we're just going to add a background, and then we're going to fill it with a color, or we could fill it with an image as well. So again, we go back up here to Shape, and we do the same thing. Get this out of the way. And we do the same thing. Now, in this case, I can see the white, so I don't have to change the color. All right, let's speed this up. Okay, and then we connect them together again. And now we have the line already, but we're going to do a fill. So click off on that, click on the shape, and then we want a color fill. And we'll just use white. So there it is. So Then we take the shape and we just move it down below the image, and there it is. And then hold the shift key down, then control, and then group them. So there it is. It's one thing. So I'll just ungroup so that you can see. So again, we have the two here, right? So we have the background. Now this shape could be filled with something else though. Here it's filled just with color, but you could fill it with an image. For example, maybe this kind of notebook paper or white paper. It's not so different, right? I mean, this is actually an image of white kind of crinkly paper, but it looks a little bit different. It still has that kind of white border, so we probably remove that. But you could do any kind of image in the background. So again, let's say we have this image here. Here's a photograph of one of our physicians, and then just different treatments of it. So the one on the left is the shape. It does have a border around the shape, which we could remove or keep it, but it has an image is inserted into it, this kind of newspaper background. And then we have the next one is just a shape plus just a color fill. And then on the far right, we see it's the original with the border. And that looks okay. And that's very common. You see it like that. But what I wanted to show you in this mini tutorial was how to make it feel more like you're using scissors to do the cutout, such as the two on the far left.